obviously not the birthday I wanted. I've known Pat for a long time. I told our guys that's what a championship program. They won the league 2 years in a row. They played that way today. They beat us in all the margins, free throw attempts, rebounds. I told our guys, I don't know if their minds were on Vegas or whatever, but Central Connecticut really good. Going to compliment them, and Pat's done a great job there. But we have to obviously play with more energy. We got to play harder. We got to rebound better. I appreciated putting the young guys in, and they gave us great energy. I shouldn't have to do that. But they deserve to win today, and it's on me. We're 4-1. That's what our record is right now, and we have no time now, to put our heads down. We got Tennessee coming up, arguably one of the best teams in the country. So we got to bounce back, and we got to do it quickly.
Steve, what's happening with this team's three-point defense?
A few things, and it's really starting to get on my nerves a little bit. A lot of new guys, that's part of it. The scouting report's a big part of it. We have to grow. We have to grow up, too, in how we approach scouting reports. And again, I have to, get some guys out there that understand, what that job is against every team, And Central Connecticut was one of those teams, they had 5 guys that could make threes. But they got 9 up. The last time they had 9 up in the first half. The other night when we played American, they made 9 in the first half. So obviously our defense was not good at all, and our offense wasn't, and that's what happens in a game like this. But I got to find some guys that can defend the three for sure.
Coach, you mentioned the young lineup you went to in the second half, the 4 freshmen and the sophomore Dortch. What did you see from that group?
I mean, they just came and played with energy. Like, we have to go at people. We're not one of those programs, and we don't have that kind of talent on the floor that you could just sit back, and we have to go after people. And we did for those 5 seconds. I was happy, and some of those guys hadn't played, but they're making a case too if they give us that kind of energy and they're ready to go. Bryce always can do some things with us, but, again, we got to play better. We got to own our record. I told our guys in the locker room, nobody feels sorry for us, and we're heading to Tennessee and Las Vegas. So we got to find a three-point defense. We got to find, some better ball movement and the backboards. It all starts and ends with the backboards. And we can't be plus 15 in a game and then minus, we have to be consistent with rebounding the basketball. Some of those were second shot threes. That always happens when you're scrambling off of a rebound missed shot. So we have to do, a better job, and we got to find some consistent rebounders.
Coach, how worried are you about this team heading into Vegas?
I mean, Vegas is Vegas. So, I don't know if any coach is happy with his team. I'm certainly not. We're better than this, and we got to play better than this. But, you're worried as a coach at this time of the year when you're still figuring some stuff out. So, we got a great challenge in front of us, and we got to get off the mat, and that's what we usually do. So we'll see.
Steve, outside of 19 points from Tariq Francis, it was a struggle for just about everybody offensively. How do you explain that, and how do you improve upon that, make sure everybody else gets involved?
Yeah, I mean, we've been pretty close to having 5 guys in double figures, so we've been sharing the ball, and we've been getting the ball moving. I did think we missed a lot of makeable shots. We had one possession, I don't know, we get 4 or 5 attempts of layups between DG and E around the basket, and we didn't finish. But, we got to get to the free throw line too. That's a part of this thing. And the margins are so important. It's the free throws, it's the rebounds, it's all that, and you'll score more points. But we didn't stop them, and that's part of it too. You got to stop them. They held the ball, they ran clock, and they scored, and then we came down and we rushed some attempts, and we didn't make the ones that we needed to make, and that's what happens in a game like this, and that's why the outcome is the outcome.
Sure. Yeah. Steve, you mentioned a couple guys, young guys came in and gave you great energy. A couple of those guys didn't play till the second half or late in the first half. What was the thinking on the rotation, and will you look at harder changes?
Yeah, I mean, I have to look at everything, but I went with the rotation in the first half that we've won 4 games with, and I just felt that those guys, were our best chance to play with some energy. And I told them to be ready at halftime. I mean, I think the whole team always has to be ready. So I have a lot of faith in those guys, even though I haven't played them as much. And they came in and gave us a spark. So, we'll try to build on that. And I think a couple others are going to get some opportunities too here if they just keep plugging away, But, I wanted to try, getting a little more athleticism on the floor, and that's what Lino brings us, and that's what Chris brings us, and that's what, KP brings us, and Bryce. So, I went with that group.
What do you have to do to turn a team like this over more? I mean, they're obviously an experienced team, but they only had 7 turnovers, and that was a point of emphasis for this team coming into the season.
Yeah, I mean, huge. And I will tell you, I watched them play, Boston College. I really think Jay Rogers, a real quality point guard, 9 assists, 2 turnovers. He was steady. He got in the lane. He kind of got where he wanted to get. I mean, we have to, do a better job, obviously, on the roller, who got behind us a bunch of times, and that's where he got a bunch of his assists. But, when we're playing the way we need to play, we'll turn some teams over. Obviously, we didn't tonight, and you need extra opportunities when you're not shooting the ball and you're not rebounding it. So we got to put in some more trapping things, and we got to get our rotations down. But we just have to play better, Jerry. Point blank, we just have to play better, and that's obviously on me. And we have to play hard from the opening tip. And when you give teams confidence like this in your building, and this has been a tough building for people to come and play, we gave them confidence right off the bat, and I thought we gave American confidence too the other night. So we have to get off to good starts with our defense, and obviously we're going to have to against Tennessee.
Yeah, Steve, like we said, you got the Players Era Festival coming up, then you got Purdue and Michigan on the horizon. What's going to have to change for you to compete with those type of teams?
Yeah, I mean, we got to get better. I mean, it's a long season, guys, long season. You go through ups and downs. Today wasn't our night for sure. And tip of the hat to Central Connecticut. They played a game. I don't know if our guys' minds were on the right thing. Were they already in Las Vegas? I don't know. I have 10 new guys that I'm just learning, but they certainly weren't on the task at hand. And I have to make sure that they understand what Tennessee looks like, and what Notre Dame looks like, and what Purdue looks like, and what Michigan looks like. We're 4-1. That's what we are, and we better learn from a night like tonight. That's all you can do in a season like this. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. Obviously, this is a down, but we got to get off the mat, and we got to make sure that we're ready to go.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you guys being here.